Hi there, everybody. It's been a minute, huh? I was sick and really busy, and it was a rough week, so thanks for hanging out last week without me. Hi! We're here to have a good time today. I think we're gonna have a blast. I'm gonna introduce you to the crew here in just a second, and then I'm gonna ignore you while I hang out in an aquarium in a made-up land in a made-up game with people that are real. But it's gonna be a good time. I don't know how long we're gonna hang out. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit. I wanted to show everybody the aquarium because I saw it a little while ago, and I don't know, just excited about it. So I'll keep this short. And then tomorrow, this is the last I'll say of this, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, there's a Summer Claude video that's coming out on YouTube, and I'm gonna be there for the premiere, so I hope you are too. But for right now, let's take a little look at what's going on in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm gonna jump back into the call here and say hello to everybody.
Not real.
Hi guys.
It's not.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, fantastic. So I've got we're all live now, so everything you say will be used against you on the internet.
Oh, no.
And
Yes.
yeah. So why does everybody just like say who they are real quick, and maybe let us know like who you are in the game, so people know when they see you who you are and what you did for the aquarium and all that stuff, and then we can summarily ignore everyone and just play Final Fantasy.
I guess then I'll go first because I'm me. Hi, I'm Fruity Snacks, and I am the director, curator, and literally everything, I guess, behind not literally everything, but I'm the wrangler of people. I came up with the idea for the aquarium, and people were brave enough to follow me, or dumb enough, depending on who you talk to. But yeah, that's me. I'm the tall little not Ellison. Vieira. Ah! Someone else go. I'll go at once.
Okay. I'm Noble Genobi, in-game name Fruity Mazna. I'm one of the 2 stray cats that Fruity adopted after DC travel got added, and
Amazing.
I lobbied for 3 days.
Not wrong.
I help volunteer with events and was one of the main hosts of the art party we just had like a week or so.
Cool.
I'm Pator Red Dot in game. I am one of the people who was stupid enough to follow Fruity to help make the aquarium. I'm also Megan O'Keefe, the author in real life, which is how I know my good buddy Joe.
Yes, Megan and I had the same agent for all of our careers, I think.
Our careers are still ongoing, but yes.
Well, all right, your career is still ongoing. There's agents, and we had them, and at the same time, that's how we know each other.
Yes.
Don't all go at once, guys.
I'm Frothy, delicious frothy fist in game. Delicious frothy fish in the aquarium. I'm also one of the people dumb enough to join the aquarium team and help make one of the rooms. And I am married to Megan in real life, which is why I'm kind of tagging along here, because I mean, you're all here because Joe's pretty freaking awesome, and
Well, let's
I
not
like him too. He's
away.
all right.
That's pretty good.
It's okay.
You guys.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Peaches, and I go by Sua Cow in game. I was also one of the adopted strays that Fruity adopted. And I do tours occasionally, and I was also one of the hosts for the art party recently.
Amazing.
Woo.
And we also have Erica.
Yeah, it's just me. I went to the aquarium once and it was really cool, so I was gonna ask Joe if I could crash, but I forgot, and he luckily invited me anyway, so I'm here, and I'm Nami Koizumi in game, and yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited to see the new stuff.
Well, thank you guys for letting me come and tour the place. I'm excited. I did take a sneak peek maybe like a month ago before I reached out to do all this, just to see it. But I quickly became overwhelmed, and I was like, I think I need professional assistance to experience this, and that's what made me reach out. Okay.
Overwhelming is a good way to describe it.
Overwhelming is absolutely a good way to describe it, but I'm excited to have a little bit of the overwhelm seeped away by some expert guidance. So where are we going?
All right, so we're gonna head to the lavender beds. And the best part about the lavender beds is that you don't need to actually like have it unlocked. You can just go make a character on Marlboro or anywhere on Crystal and just travel on over here, and then you can just walk there. It is perfectly safe. I have tested it. It only died like 6 times, not really. But we're gonna drive over there or fly over there or something. I don't know. But we're gonna head over there, and then we're gonna go to Ward 16, plot 59, and then we'll go to the aquarium there.
All right, lead the way.
All right, so off we go into the wilderness.
Lavender Beds is the best. That's where my house is on my DC server.
Wow, you have a
Yeah.
house.
Pretty.
I do, yeah. I got it before the lottery system, though, so I
think
got really
that's-
lucky.
I haven't
got
played it in a
mine,
while. I
yeah.
think I only have an apartment in Shirgane.
I got mine before the lottery system as well, and then
I have an apartment.
and then I won a lottery to upgrade it to a large.
I've not been that lucky yet.
Wow.
Anyway, so we're heading into Central Shroud, and then how many of us are there?
Do we need the whale or just
Okay,
are we gonna...
no,
okay.
if either the whale or Prothy can walk himself, or someone can.
Nobby and I are just vibing out here on my Google
Vibing,
swing.
yeah.
There, we'll ride on the
Excellent.
in true like starter game style. We will ride a chocobo cart.
I love it.
Exactly.
Great.
I do not have this mount.
It's a Mog Station mount.
Mount, yeah.
Ah.
Anyways, you can kind of just walk your way down on the path. It's really safe. Like, actually, like, genuinely, that was kind of one of the reasons that we looked for a starter zone house, is so that people of any level could get to the house really easily.
Yeah, there's nothing that aggro's here early, does it?
No, and if you literally stick to the path, like, most mobs won't attack you, and a lot of the time the fate mobs will just skip you.
That's cool.
So if you need to, you can also pick up the Central Shroud Aetheryte. If you don't feel safe, you can set that as your return point, and if you die, you just lose like 30 seconds.
On my Marlboro out, I attuned to that before I attuned to the Gridania Aetheryte, and
Is that how you learned return?
that was how I learned Return, was attuning to the Bit Branch Aetheryte instead of the Gridania one. It was funny.
Okay, we are here.
So you
Outstanding.
can then just talk to the ferry skipper. And then we're going to travel to Ward 16, and we'll have to go to the subdivision when we get there.
Ward 16.
Yep.
Frothy, you were a giant fish.
Yes.
Like, there's really no
Wait,
arguing
everyone?
that. What subdivision?
That would be subdivision. That would be the. Let me get the proper
Lavender.
one here. Yeah, Lavender
Northeast.
Northeast.
Lavender Northeast.
Yes, Lavender Beds Northeast subdivision. And I walked in, and it took me to the subdivision, and I was really confused when I didn't see any of you. And what a lot of people think is that we're the large house here, because they hear like, oh, 180 fish. It's gotta be a large house. Nope, we're the dinky small on this little island
I
right
was
over
so
here.
confused when I first saw it for the same reason. I was like, how do they fit all this in a small?
It's been kind of like a big, I don't want to say selling point, but a big draw for a lot of people, because they'll be like, yeah, 180 fish in a single house, and they're like, what? How does that happen? Because you can only have a certain number of fish tanks in a house. So anyways, this is it. This is the Eorzean Aquarium. in the lavender beds. It's on a little island that you can fish off of, so it ended up being perfect. We got it as but we actually got it as a gift from one of the staff members' friends. They were like, I have this house that I don't use, you can use it. And I don't think they knew what they were getting into. Actually, none of us knew what we were getting into, but yeah, I kind of grew into that. So we'll just head on inside because that's where all the fun stuff is.
Fish.
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 Well, I'm already impressed with the entrance, to be totally honest.
Yep. So we
the shark on
we
the
modeled
bar.
it around. We modeled it around. We kind of designed it as if it would be an actual aquarium.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
second iteration. This is second iteration because we redid it when DC Travel came out. We just decided to give it a facelift. So the main thing that we do in this is, I mean, obviously we have like our big message book. We have our gift shop over here in the corner that sells Eorzean Aquarium branded
No way.
merchandise. Yeah. So somebody made
Such a nice touch.
That's
an account.
so cool.
Yeah, they made it a character named Eorzean Aquarium, and then they leveled all the crafters, and so they craft all of our merchandise. So that's how you know it's real.
That's cool as hell.
And then the basement is where we have our little like cafeteria.
A little early to
and-
lure me down to the basement, isn't it?
Never too early.
Nod saying.
I mean, room 2 is the dungeon, so. And so anyways, all the fish that are behind here on the stage, we always showcase as much of the newest fish added in each patch. We always showcase them in the basement, half because they're new and that's what a lot of people want to see, and half because we usually don't have space to put them anywhere yet, so we will need some time, and we want to make sure that we're displaying all of the fish as often as we can. So it only took like 4 hours to get this set up after they dropped.
Nice.
So the big ones that a lot of people ask about would be the guy up here in the upper right.
Right. Yeah.
So this is like the first time that we've had a fish of this species added as an aquarium, and this is where like the aquarium lore gets deep, because we keep track of the species now. But this big guy, his name's Junkmonger. He's caught out in off the coast of, I think he's just outside Aleport. He's the first angler type fish that we've added
In the whole aquarium.
in the whole aquarium. They haven't added an angler fish before. Actually, patch 6.2, which was the most recent one, added five new species of fish that have not been shown in an aquarium before.
That's
and
cool.
that
They
would
were
be
able to be. They were able to be put on canvases, but they had not been takeable prior to this. So
Yeah, so angler fishes, and then flowerhorn, which is the pink guy that looks like he got bonked on the head.
Yeah, he's
in
got
the
like
upper left.
some kind of growth on his head. Yeah.
Yep, and they look like that in real life too, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, are all these fish based on real fish, or are they Final Fantasy fish?
Yes,
Based on
they are
real
all
fish.
real fish.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, I kind of recognize from like reading old books about like stuff at the bottom of the Mariana Trench or whatever. Like that's what the top right fish reminds me of.
Those are all.
They get really weird.
They added all those wacky and wild fish up in Ultima Thule,
Okay.
as they pronounce it incorrectly in game. Those are all the weird deep sea ones, and some of them. Speaking of that, like the blue guy with the big fin in the upper left too, that's the
Right.
first pleco that was added. That's a species of pleco, also known called a capotron.
Okay.
So that's the first species of pleco that we've gotten. And then in the tank that over in the lower left, and you won't be able to see it from where you're seated, there is a skate called the Aether Electric Guitarfish.
No, that's not a real thing.
Yes, it is.
Guitarfish are real fish. They're found in the saltwater coast. Usually you find them in the shallows.
Is that the one on the bottom there?
Yep,
yeah,
that little
it's a
dude on the
really
bottom.
flat one.
And
Yep,
that's a type of
and
skate or not?
That is a skate.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is a skate. And its in-game name is the Aether Electric Guitarfish.
I see.
Caught
Okay.
in Charlie and Harbor.
Do they all have
It's
different?
called the. It's called that because it's shaped like a guitar and it generates a small like electrical charge to like zap predators and stuff like that. So that's where it gets the name from.
These are real. Are these? I'm having a difficult time understanding if I'm being punked or if these are real life fish facts. Like, does that thing really do that in real life?
In game, it is called an aether electric guitar fish.
Right.
In real life, it is called a guitar fish. I don't think it has an electric current though, but it is shaped like a guitar.
Well, now I'm less excited.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? There are several fish that do stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know.
So.
Fish can be really interesting, like, and weird.
Yeah. So those were 4 of the 5, and the 5th one is, I say species in the loosest term because technically it's also the first inorganic fish that we have that we can put into a fish tank.
Yeah.
He's not down here though. That one's in its own room at the moment, or in the proper room.
When I hear the phrase inorganic fish, is this like a Beyond Meat, a Beyond Burger kind of fish?
It's a robot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we'll head into the rooms and I know Bruni and Sua both do tours quite often, so they will probably have more to say than I do.
Excellent.
On those. But yeah, we'll just go through the rooms because each of the room has a region assigned to them. So like Lenosha, Thanalan, Shroud, Othard, Hingashi.
This is so cool.
And inside of that, all the fish are from that region. So you you can just go ahead and be like, oh, I want to go see just fish from Lenosha and go there. So we have like the bombard fish, which is a giant puffer.
Right.
Over here, Silver Sovereign in here in the back.
Quick side note, the Eorzean Aquarium is actually one of the only uses I've found for first-person mode.
That's fair.
Freaking awesome in it.
I don't remember how to actually do it.
Home key. Wait, maybe.
It's home key by default.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. It's so cool like that.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're unsure about the fish names, you could always look in the message books.
Yeah, we list the location and the name of like what tank they're located in and the names of each fish in the message book as like the author or owner note.
Is this the guest book? No, this is.
Yeah, so we double up all the message books because there's no other way to put text in game, and we wanted to list all the fish names in game. So there is the description of the message book, and it lets people still leave messages and put like likes and stuff in.
Okay, I see on the top left you've got the sort of key.
Yep.
I came for fish and I saw fish. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we have to clear out those books. When we opened on May 1st, and I made a tweet about it.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, well, it'll be like maybe 50 people will show up. I had like D&D that night that I was going to do online. We all had plans. And 50 people showed up in the first minute. It ended up going viral. Like the original tweet almost has 10,000 likes, seen by like 500,000 people or something like that.
That's incredible.
Impression. And that was like mostly within the first week. We estimated probably 1,000 to 2,000 people in 3 days came to visit.
That's amazing.
We were not prepared, but like we rallied pretty quickly. So.
Yeah, never underestimate the power of the Final Fantasy XIV community to be excited about something.
Yeah, and so we just did that, and I showed up to my D&D game. I'm like, guys, I am sorry if I am distracted, but I am currently dealing with the entirety of the game coming to one house.
That's awesome.
If you have ever heard crowd noises, like if there's a ton of players around, it changes. Yeah. We heard that sometimes in the individual rooms. And you should never hear that. So yeah, we'll just keep moving through here. We'll just go in order.
I like
yeah.
the hidden you have a what is the name of this creature in the corner?
Yeah, the
Namazu.
Yes,
yeah.
Namazu.
Yeah, we have Namazu's hidden in. Is it most or all of the rooms?
There's like 20 of them, I think.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of the rooms. There's a Namazu. There's also a Major General hidden in the ceiling for unknown reasons.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he's there for a reason. I put him there for a reason.
Why did you put him there, Fruity?
That's for you to find out.
Alright, fair enough.
Oh, come on.
Oh, there's that angler again. Huh?
Yeah, Joe Munger.
So a lot of the fish we were able to get in because we had some space. And each of the rooms are based on different parts of different region, usually around where a lot of the fish are actually from.
Right.
So this one is based around Sestasha, which is near Airport, which is where, you know, Junkmonger is, and where some of these fish can get, like the Hammerhead and the Megalodon.
Where you roll your leveling roulette 9 out of 10 times.
Yep.
The Thanalan room for Karn is later. Because that's all I get. That's all I get in leveling roulette is Karn.
I feel like I'm constantly in Sestasha.
Yeah, my friends and I ended up just calling it Karn roulette. Which is weird because we ended up we made a second full-fledged aquarium in Europe.
Aha, that's cool.
And one of the rooms is based around Karn. And I just get flashbacks whenever I walk into it.
Man, you guys really like dressed up these rooms to the nines. This is awesome.
A lot of them have been iterated over like the past 6 months. We moved to
Once we started getting donations.
Oh yeah. It's functioning like a real life aquarium at this point.
Yeah, we could afford like fancier decor.
Yeah, I think it took, because we didn't have to pay for the house. I think it took about 25 mil to build the entire house. So it was about $1.5 million per room for the budget. And we made that back the first night.
Oh my gosh.
Just purely in donations. I think we've made, I'm trying to say this without boasting, but it's going to sound like boasting.
This is a cool project.
I think we have made close to, if not greater than, 350 million gil in donations in 6 months. Yeah. And a lot of that's like, we kicked a bunch of it over to the European aquarium. We kicked it over to, we're building an aquarium on Oceania. So we have 3 of the data centers will be covered. We're going to be kicking a few mil over to other projects as well, where you're basically using this aquarium to fund other mega projects like this. So we'll have like a fish print museum, which is going to be like the fish prints you see. We're going to have one guy was like, I want to do this. I'm like, okay, here's a house. And so all 1,388 fish are going to be on display via the fish prints in this. And that's like 50 rooms. So we'll be so they got money. There's an art museum we're working on. We have so many of these. I could go on and on, but we have a ton of these museums.
You're one step away from like Final Fantasy XIV philanthropy, where like you get so many in donations and now like you're helping keep.
I mean, if anyone is like starting fishing and they come to me and they're like, hey, I want to start fishing, but I can't like pay for like gear, we'll use the money for that.
Yeah.
Like we gave out gear for one of our events.
I still actually have the gear that they made for that event, and I know it was made by the aquarium folks because I can see by the name that it's one of the other staffers.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So Bruni, do you want to explain the wonderful fish here and his girlfriend?
Yes. So in this tank over here, there is a fish here called the cupfish. He is based off the real life blobfish. His name is Fred.
With the incredible nose.
Yes, it is said in-game lore that this fish has been cursed by the 12 to look like a gormless Rogadin, and we assume that's meant to be an insult because they say this is why it hides in deep, dark caves.
Okay.
Which it can be caught in a cave.
Yep. So, thankfully, though, Fred's a very beloved member of the aquarium community, and supposedly he's dating the mirror scale in here, and they're in a very happy relationship.
Wow. Yeah, that's
mirror scale being the large one on the bottom.
That's deep lore right there.
We have a lot of guests who like provide backstories for the fish. It's kind of awesome to hear what they come up with.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a Google Doc that keeps track of like the popular fan names for different fish.
Okay.
So people will come in, like, they'll be like, I think that this is what we should name this fish. Or people will, like, leave in the message books, like, different names. And so we'll keep track of either the staff made names or popular names among the visitors of the aquariums, and if it gets popular enough, we'll make it the official name of the fish, or if we like it enough.
The one thing that is true about fishers is that we track data. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
we have notes on everything.
Fishers are very data oriented.
It blows my mind that like you actually had to go out and collect each one of these fish.
Oh, that's so. The one thing I need to point out here that is not mentioned enough, in my opinion. Every single fish in this aquarium was caught by, was actually caught. We didn't buy anything off the market board. I mean, technically would have had to have been caught at some point, but no, it's like basically I made a call out in the fish cord, which is the Final Fantasy XIV fishing Discord.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, here's the fish we're missing. And I think it was easier and quicker to get all the fish than it was to get to build the entire aquarium.
Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, we already
This
had
is,
like pockets full of fish that we were just saving, so.
Yeah, I think it took a week to get all the fish. And more than we actually needed.
It? Only a week to get all the fish?
Yeah. Because I think I had at least, I probably had a bunch of them already. I know like Catter, you had a bunch. Another guy named Drac, he probably donated the most. He probably donated at least 50% of these fish.
Yeah, and some of them are really hard to catch too.
Yeah, so I moved over to room 4. Kind of keeps us moving because there's 25 rooms.
Let's
it
do
takes a while.
So we're kind of not really in Lenosha anymore, but this room is based around the ocean fishing. So these are all fish that you would find in ocean fishing.
Oh my god.
Have you tried it yet?
The Namazu placement in this room.
Oh, it's so great. That's Deputy Berry Blast. Just gonna pass by and not say howdy.
Gotta say howdy to Deputy Barry Blast.
Holy crap, I didn't even notice it. I was like, where is it?
Yeah, some of the Namazu are easier than others. Some of them, when we first did it, we did it back in June or July, I forget, whenever it was for the DC travel. And I just told the staff, like, be mean but fair.
Sure, yeah.
And so it was so popular. We were only expected to just keep it in for like a couple of weeks and then we would take them out. But everyone loves looking for them and just finding them. So we've made it a permanent feature of every aquarium room. So all these are ocean fish. Bruni, do you want to talk about Rocky Boy here in the background?
Yeah, sure. So this is the stone scale. Sua and I have been trying for this one for a bit. It's a rare fish.
Fabled Legend is the official title.
Okay.
Yeah, Fabled Legend fish. So in ocean fishing, there's a mechanic called spectral fishing. It's like, I guess like a frenzy round where you can have quicker times to catch fish. And during these spectral currents, if you have the right conditions, like date and right time of day, you can catch rare fish like the stone scale. The stone scale, I think, is the only one out of those that can be tanked. It's literally a shark covered in like
Stone.
rocky skin. And I believe it's based off of real fish that actually use stone as armor as well.
That is terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, it's based on rock fins from Final Fantasy XI.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Which actually, I think they're a staple. I think they're actually a staple fish from the Final Fantasy series. But
yeah, I remember rockfish being like low-level mobs in 11, maybe.
I'm not really a true Final Fantasy fan because 14 was my first.
Hey, that's all right.
The rest of these over here are the spectral fish. So if you catch one of these, you have a chance. It's like 8% on a full 24-person boat. You have a chance to summon a spectral current, which is what you use to catch some of the other fish in here, like the mithril. I think that's a mithril sovereign.
Floating
yeah,
between
the
the
lower
ones?
guy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the lower guy is a mithril sovereign. And then you have like the spectral megalodon, because each zone has their own spectral fish. all but one of them can be tanked. Two of them, sorry. The spectral eel, and then the spectrosaur, which is right above us on the tank.
Can the SIBO be tanked?
The what?
The SIBO,
and the SIBO. I keep forgetting about the seahorses.
Oh, yeah, there's only one tankable seahorse, the Hanatatsu, I think.
Hananatsu.
Hananatsu.
I wish the SIBO was tankable. I love it. It's so cute.
Yeah, so room 5 is another ocean fish.
Oh, I like this.
Fish.
This is great.
And then we have, this was just renovated like last week, 2 weeks ago, I forget. It was done right after the art party, which was on the 11th, so that would have been, yeah,
Very
last week.
cool.
This one has the beloved and now world famous Kirby the Pog Shark.
Is that the one at the desk?
No, this is the
Oh
one
wow! No, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
the
Jesus.
giant basking shark.
What is happening?
This
He's
one,
having his lunch.
yeah, this one became an instant hit. We opened the aquarium, and this room, the message book was just filled with Pog Shark over and over and
Yeah,
over
really.
again. In the previous version of this room, the Namazu was actually hidden in its mouth.
Oh, that's nice.
And then when they renovated the room, they hid it somewhere, and I actually don't know where. But it is hidden here somewhere. Oh wait, no, I do know where it is. Never mind. Yeah, I do know where it is.
I actually don't know where it is.
It's still wet.
Yep.
And then they just replaced it with food, and I believe they're occasionally going to come in and change out the food, so it's something different every time.
That's awesome. I see him over here.
Fruity, you should talk about the...
Oh, the giant Moramora. That's not actually a Moramora.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Helmsman Hand. This is based on the real life sunfish, and they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy XIV gets really generous with their size comparison. An actual one of these fish is like 3 times larger, and they're big, they're chunky, and they're ugly. But this guy's small, and it's my favorite fish.
That's awesome.
I collect the Momoramora, which you get from ocean fishing. And
Okay.
I have like, what do I have right now? 2,719 or something like
That's
that.
many fish. That's a lot.
Yes.
That's many.
Yes. It's many fish.
It's a non-trivial number.
Oh, Fruity, you should talk about how to get the Mora minion then.
I'll do it in the next room.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Mora minion is if you get 1,000,000 cumulative points ocean fishing.
Did I go to the wrong room? No.
6. No, you're right. So we're moving out of the wonderful shores of Vilbrand here, and into Thanalan, which, despite being a desert, actually has a wide variety of different fish.
Frothy, are you changing your glam in every room?
Yes,
Okay.
it's so distracting,
It is-
but like, in a good way. I'll look at it, it's like, who's this? And it's Frothy.
Okay.
Nice little surprise each time.
I mean, what is glam if not to show off?
I get it.
Let's.
Sua, do you want to talk a little bit about this room?
I could, yeah. What do you want to know about?
You could tell him, since it's a desert, about like with the canvases, what fish are on the canvases up top.
Oh yeah, so in every room so far, you see these prints on the wall, and those are fish that are not tankable.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot here because in Thanalan, most of the fishing is done by dune fishing, so obviously you can't put them in tanks.
Oh yeah, that would be.
You just literally cast out into sand.
Yeah.
It confuses sprouts all the time. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's this game has a lot of means of fishing that are not like water. So there's dune fishing, hell fishing, sky fishing, cloud fishing.
Did you say hell fishing?
Hell fishing.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fishing in lava.
Okay, that checks out. Yeah, sure.
There's one very specific place for it.
Yeah, space fishing, aether fishing. That's on
Aether chemical fishing.
chemical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for like
30
Az's
I'm
Law.
missing. Or no, star fishing, not space
Yes.
fishing.
No, it's space fishing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep.
So they, but anything that's not like caught in actual water, we can't tank. So, those go on the canvases, which is why the one pleco that we saw, salt fishing. The one pleco that we saw downstairs is such a big deal because most of the fish that can be caught in, as the game pronounces it, Ultimathul, is, are caught via like stars base fishing.
Okay.
And so
You just cast out into the universe and see what you catch.
But that pleco is from one of the few like water spaces in Ultimathul, so that's why it's a big deal that it's tankable, because it's the first tankable one from that area.
Awesome.
I love this guy back here, Hannibal, with his little pointy nose.
Oh yeah.
It's a Gar, based on the real life Gar. I actually just had somebody come in the other day when I was checking in the morning, and he goes, I don't know what fish it was, but my FC leader just called it the corn cob fish.
Yeah, all right.
That works. Yeah, I see it.
And I just was like, oh, I know exactly what that is, and I took him here. And he goes, yeah, that's it. I'm like, okay. At least we know what it is.
Guy.
Yeah, so a lot of these come from the waters. They don't have dune tanks yet, or like sky tanks, because it's half of the issue is you can't see into sand. The other half is how can you build a tank that contains like air that things can fly around in?
Right.
Because that's how all the skyfish fly around in this game. Is that they're effectively like birds, but fish.
Yeah, that checks out.
Fish birds.
That's normal.
So-
That
It's
sounds
like the
totally normal.
body is more oriented to like wind ether as opposed to water ether, I think is the actual explanation, which is also the explanation for Bismarck. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah, when we get to the Dravanian room, I will talk about the wonderful lore that is behind Storm Chasers.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. So this is the Black Shroud room.
Mm-hmm.
So everything here can be caught like in obviously the Black Shroud.
Gridania.
Gridania mostly. There's a couple particularly notable fish in here. One of them is the rain collar. It's the fish that in like the main fishing quest kind of introduces you to how some fish have like certain weather requirements, because the rain collar can only be caught in Gridania while it's raining.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that you have to like consult. There's the sky watchers that will tell you when upcoming weather is. So you have to make sure you get to Gridania when it's raining, otherwise the fish won't spawn. And that was actually how I got introduced to big fishing, because the big fish version, which is the Storm Dancer, also can only be caught during rain.
Okay.
And Gridania, oddly enough, despite fishing getting started in the fishing guild is in Limsa Laminsa, there's a surprising number of fishers who got started in Gridania, because that's how I got started fishing. Was like I had unlocked Fisher, but there was somebody there just doing big fishing, and I just was like, oh, I want to do that. They taught me. I'm like, oh, this is easy, and then I just kept doing it.
When you say big fishing,
Oh, so
boy.
because so I will say that like I
That's
have
a can
never
of
leveled a
worms.
fisher. I've never fished once in this game. I've done some
Okay, so-
crafting, but really not that. Certainly no disciples of the
so-
land thing.
I'm going to keep it. There is a lot of words used in fishing, but I'm going to narrow it down to big fishing is a term used to catch the rare fish, so the green background fish,
Okay.
in the overworld in each fishing hole. Each fishing hole has at least one big fish, sometimes two.
Is it
and-
when you say big, you're talking size or just like?
No, they're
this
more.
is
It's
like
better
the
to say
in-game
rare.
term.
Okay.
Yeah, it's technically say rare. Like in 99% of the holes, it's rarer to get that fish than every other fish.
Okay. Cool.
So you see how Fruity and I have like the big fish title? That just means we've caught all of the big fish in the game.
Oh,
It
Jesus.
doesn't have
All right.
anything to do with their size though. It's just
Yeah,
the difficulty and rarity.
and that's we're keeping it really easy with the titles, because there's technically
Yeah.
common fish, big fish, legendary fish, rare fish,
Fabled.
fabled legend fish, and that's not touching spearfishing, in which you can have a large fish. It gets really strange. It gets strange.
So, okay.
If you
Spearfishing is
spearfish, can
not
you
the most.
if you spearfish, can you put that fish in a tank? I feel like that's not
Yes.
gonna work.
So
Really?
So
you
later
just spear them very
on-
lightly, or do you?
Yes.
A gentle spear.
A
Very
gentle
gentle.
stabbing.
Okay.
It's like one of those claw things that you see like short
Oh,
people
right,
use to
yeah,
get stuff.
Okay.
You just pretend it's one of those.
Sure.
So anyways, about this room, this is the Morgana room.
This is my room.
This is Cador's room. Cador, do you
Ooh.
have anything you want to say about the room?
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Oh no. Oh, I'll tell him what I did to you, Fruity. So, I put this room together on an alt because I have a free company on my main that I didn't want to leave. And one of the things I wanted for it was this picture up here. You can kind of see the big, bold black print on top. That's Kuno the Killer. Kuno the Killer is one of the legendary fish. You have to catch him to end up getting the Of Dragon's Deep title.
Ah.
And he's a legendary, so he's a pain in the butt, right? You have to catch this guy over here, Canavan, who is a big fish, to trigger the intuition, which is basically a window where you're allowed to catch Kuno the Killer, the
This is
legendary
absurdly
fish.
complicated.
Yeah, so
It is.
And they're
Fishing is
not
full of patterns.
tradable. Like, so the Realm Reborn legendaries aren't tradable. And I wanted the print for the room, and we forgot they weren't tradable. So I asked Fruity to go catch it because I was on my alt and was too low level to do it. And he went out, he actually got it for me, and then he couldn't actually put it in the room.
Oh no.
Like in the grand scheme of things, I put Kuno the Killer on like one of the easier legendaries. So it's not a big
Yeah.
deal. Like,
Right,
This is,
so-
for me, it's a
Kinda nerfed.
casual.
So you
But
own this
is-
room, right? So like you need to have everything in your possession in order to decorate it.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, on my alt, so
Now
my
I understand.
baby
Okay, okay.
fisher.
And most of these fish like can be traded or brought over, but there are a handful like Kuno the Killer, like Stone Scale, that we saw before, that cannot be traded
You have to
for
do it yourself.
various reasons.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so we have to; those people will actually have to go out and get them themselves.
All right.
So fortunately, there's not a ton of aquarium fish that do that, but there are a handful that we had to account for.
Okay.
That's how I made poor Fruity waste some time.
Well, all right.
Get
You're never wasting time when fishing though in this game because
It's true.
it's very fun. But to
Just
something that you were
noticed-
saying earlier is that fishing isn't necessarily it looks complicated on the outside, but it can be boiled down to like 3 or 4 major mechanics, and then it's
Yeah.
just from there it is literally just interchanging how those mechanics work.
it's really not
it is
that bad.
far less complicated than people originally believe it to be, and far more interesting now that they've been adding skills.
This acorn chandelier is badass. I want it in my house.
This is Frothy's room.
Nice.
Frothy, do you have anything you wish to say? Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah, actually. So something that comes up a lot is my table back here. You've got a mystery sandwich, and that's because this is for the Sea of Clouds, and it's Abelathia's spine, so like Sea of Clouds and Oz's Law,
Right.
and everybody is like, "What is up with this sandwich?" Well, one of the things that shows up in the Sea of Clouds is our giant whale friend,
Right.
and this sandwich is called the Bismarck. So I kind of had to. There was no representation of Bismarck in the aquarium.
I
so,
see. Like the
we have a
in-game
giant
name
whale.
of this sandwich is the Bismarck.
Yes.
Ah.
Which
I thought you were
say
implying that you may have cooked Bismarck.
I mean, they don't say that it's
Always
not.
an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't say that it's not.
Yeah, why not?
And you actually say that there isn't a representation of Bismarck, but there actually is. I realized this after. Yeah, it's from the source or the first. From
We'll
the body
get
of
to that
water that
later.
is the source. That gets the names are weird.
This,
Anyways, fun fish.
this is the most horrifying statue of Jar Jar Binks I think I've ever seen in my life.
That's so much fun to like scare visitors with. We'll be like, by the way, before you leave, look up, and it always scares the crap out of people because they never look up.
'Cause he just wants that chandelier, and he will never get it.
Nope.
The tortured
It's
Dama.
like, yeah, it's like a little a Tantalus. Tantalus is punishment, but it's a strange giraffe and a
Yep.
acorn chandelier. All right, I love it.
All right, so next room would be Dravania room 2. So that would be room. Nope, no, I lied. It's room 10.
Dravania
room 10. That room.
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
room
say
nine, sorry.
Dravania room 1, not 2.
After a while, these rooms kind of, for me, they kind of blend together.
It's a big place. Someone put Moogles in this fish tank.
Well,
Those
they are the
those are-
mogfish.
Yeah, they're the mogfish.
All right.
Come on.
Yeah, so the story about the mogfish here is this is based around the churning mist now.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the churning mist has plenty of bodies of water, but not enough to fill 4 tier 4 fish tanks. And Pandoris was like, hey, I'm going to put this in the empty fish tank. And I'm like, okay, there's nothing else to do. And it then also became a fan favorite. And we just kept it. So now it's like a permanent fixture.
I love it. And you got Moogles on the chandelier too. The chandelier design is top notch, really, in all of these rooms.
There's also a friend with the Moogles in this tank.
Yes, I did notice the stealthy Namazu in the back there.
He used to be hanging off the chandelier before they moved him, which I don't know how.
Before he sobered up. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know how Pano got the Namazu up there, but forever impressed.
Nah, you can float things pretty easily as long as they're tabletop.
Yeah, this is also the home of our one of our very popular fan favorites, the Javanian Squeaker. His name is Ketchup. That's the red fish that looks like it's swimming upside down.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah, it's modeled after the real-life upside-down catfish that also swim upside down for reasons that scientists can't really seem to determine. In-game, the lore is that it's to deter or
It's a defensive
dragons.
mechanism.
Yeah, it's a defense mechanism against dragons, but they don't actually know why it swims upside down in real life.
That's
so it's but Ketchup's a fan favorite fish as well.
I also want to say I appreciate you making this aquarium accessible to Lalafels. Every room has had stools.
That was one of the things that we didn't have originally, and then a bunch of people the first week were like, "Hey, I'm a Lalafell. Could you add Lalafell stools?" And we're like,
that's amazing.
"Yeah, that's
it's
easy.
really
We can do
incredible.
that." So all the new rooms have to have Lalafell stools, and then the aquarium on Europe and Oceania will both have those built in from the start.
Nice.
All right, now on to Dravania Room 2, because I swear I know my geography.
Get your glow sticks out.
Yeah. This room is great.
This room is so
nice.
great.
Alexander's. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yep, and Proto is here. He is the the creator of the room. This room kind of came about. This is one of the rooms that we renovated for the DC travel, and it came about. Proto hosts this fishing event every week on Saturday or Sunday to help us kind of collect more data because we're data oriented. And they were saying, "Hey, I would love to redo my fish or redo my room. What should I do it into?" And I made a joke of why don't you just do it inside Alexander? And we were like, "Wait, that's a great idea."
That actually, it's a killer idea. This is awesome.
And so we whipped this out in 4 hours. The whole room got renovated in 4 hours. They moved the Namazu? They didn't move the Namazu. Okay.
I used to be up here, but
It used to be in the pot. So yeah. So these are just more Dravanian fish. There's a bunch that are kind of carried over from the Churning Mist in the previous room.
Yeah.
One of my favorites though is this guy that looks like Cubone. Is a dragon head. This guy wears a skull on his head, mostly so that he doesn't get his head chomped off.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there was a Pokemon-esque fish in the last room. That's the same. It's a duplicate. You said.
Yep. Yeah. So that's Dragonhead, the Cubone-esque fish. He's another favorite of mine as well.
This is awesome. This room is really cool. I want my studio to look like this.
This room went from just kind of shot up in popularity after we renovated it. And a lot of these rooms, we do renovate a lot of these rooms, consistently. So there's always, if you come to the aquarium and then come back 3 months later, there is most likely going to be something new.
That's awesome.
So I'm moving into Garabanya now.
So I could probably talk a little bit about the Archbishop fish.
Oh yes, because the Archbishop is fun.
The Archbishop is so much fun.
Yeah, I can a little bit. So the Archbishop fish is this black and white fish over here.
Ooh.
And it's like kind of the big one, a big version of cardinal fish. Get it? Because
Yeah, that's great.
cardinal.
Yeah.
Cardinal
It was
fish,
named after. It was
Archbishop,
named
yeah.
by Ishgardians, in case you were wondering.
Wow.
It's found in like a little purple cave in
It's called like Comet's Tail, I believe.
Yeah,
Comet's
Comet's
Tail,
Tail,
yeah.
Tail, and Alameda.
And I do want to make sure, like, this isn't like headcanon. This is every fish comes with effectively like a 1-paragraph short story,
Right.
and this is what Archbishop is.
Wow.
It's like the official description says something to the effect of like the cardinal fish. Anytime an Archbishop fish dies,
Or is caught.
or is caught, the cardinal fish like come together to elect a new Archbishop fish, or so the Vault's pious tell their children in the broom before tucking them into bed.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a conclave.
You have Culinarian up to level. You could desynthesize it for a Cane of the Round.
Fully augmented too.
Yeah,
Incredible.
so it's the glowy version as well. There's a lot of fish that desynth into like clams. In Lenosha, there's 6 fish that will desynth into 6 different bathing suit clams.
Man,
And
this
then
game
some
is
even
just
further
great.
go into like materials. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like the fact that the octopus descends into swimsuit bottoms only is mildly upsetting.
the shark does too. The shark does tops.
Yeah, it's just
yeah,
it's the
Giga
bottoms
Shark.
and the octopus combo that I'm like, nah,
Little tentacle.
well,
Yeah.
sus. Yeah.
This guy in front of us here is Xenacanthus. This is a legendary fish caught in Timon's beak in the fringes. It is based on the real life and now extinct Xenacanthus. Same fish as the real name. It was prehistoric, and a lot of fish in this game, like we were saying earlier, are based on real life fish. So like the Archbishop is based on the Bangai cardinal fish. This guy's based on the prehistoric whatever I just said, Xenacanthus. Horn included.
Man,
So
I imagine
it's a bit
like
weird.
I just want to see a fish spear another fish with its horns.
Well, it is known as the Impaler of Timon's Beak, due to the fact that it's apparently known for terrorizing the residents of that area who are trying to do their laundry.
Yep.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of like little stories. We'll talk about when we get to the Ruby Sea Room. Let's talk about the vegetarian. Let's make
Oh
sure.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
the fan favorite.
Yeah, so we'll go to now Hingashi and the Ruby Sea.
Okay.
So
This is
where
also one of the more newly renovated ones.
yeah. So Beans McGee renovated this into a Kugane market.
Yeah. It's cool as hell. I like the little
And-
stand of figurines over here.
And notably for this, Hingashi is the only place where you can get the only seahorse.
There's
that
the
can be put
seahorse
into
we
an
were talking
aquarium.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Hananatsu, and this is actually one of the few cases where the common tier fish is rarer than the big fish. Because usually it's like the big fish is the rare one. You will catch on average 4 of the rare fish before you catch even one of these.
Jeez.
Quote unquote rare. And this is caught in Kugane. It's always up. I believe it's always up. And it's not hard to catch. You just, if you get some, I think it's live shrimp. And then you can, if you get live shrimp, you guarantee the ruby shrimp, which you mooch, which will then mooch into Hananatsu, you hope.
Okay.
So
Eventually.
eventually. It's an easy catch if you have the time. Nothing complicated about it, but this is a popular one just because it's the only seahorse.
I dig it.
This room also has what is, most people agree, like one of the most terrifying fish in the game. which is this guy over here.
It's called the Shrieker, and you could probably guess why.
Jesus Christ!
That's it.
Yep, that's it. It's also able to desynth into waterproof cotton cloth, which can be made into coral beachwear. So speaking of fish that can turn into swimsuits, this is
I wouldn't wear
technically
this.
one of them. Sure you do.
Does it have eyes?
Nope.
No.
Why not?
Doesn't need 'em.
Great question.
So it doesn't like scream whenever it looks in a mirror.
What the hell real fish is this based off of?
Oh, that's a good question. It's a prehistoric one. I don't actually have the name for it.
My God.
There is another fish in dune fishing that it's the big fish of one of the places in Thanaland.
Sigoli. Yeah.
That's called, like, I'm gonna say this wrong, like the Olgoi
Karoki.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
looks,
Go ahead.
it supposedly looks exactly like this, but you can't take it because it's dune fish.
This fish is interesting because there is this one, there's Olgoi Karuki, and then there's another fish called Lunar Deathworm that all look the same.
Okay.
And Lunar Deathworm is implied to be the ancestor in game of Shrieker and Olgoi Karoki. And that's just kind of what the lore does in this game. They kind of just throw all that type of thing on it, and it's like, hey, there's these connections. So if you're looking for a good story, go catch up all the fish and then just read them.
Jeez.
Or find out how the fall of Dalamud impacted the trout population.
Oh yes. There was a comic where someone showed Dalamud exploding in the background, and a fisher was just standing there going, "Oh no, this will affect the trout population." And me, in my infinite wisdom, was like, I wonder if it actually did. And I think
sure
it was
enough.
Beans. Beans was the one who found the fish, and then we connected the dots to the fact that it is canonically written in the game that the trout population boomed after the fall of Dalamud. So we're gonna move to room 14 once I remember to go to the right room because I left it.
This room is the home to the vegetarian that we mentioned earlier, which is why the
ropes
character
are up.
that hosts this room is vegetarian bait.
The vegetarian, if you ever can read its description, it was made in the 2017, 2017 FanFest, and it was part of a lore panel, and they did it as like a Mad Lib style description, and they didn't tell anybody what it was for.
This
and
fish?
it was for this is actually the Leopleurodon. The
okay.
vegetarian is the one above it.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say because
But,
vegetarian just sounds like an ironic joke. For
Well, it
this-
is
Yeah, okay.
because vegetarian eats Lalafell.
Oh God.
So the host of this room, if I remember correctly, the character actually is a Lalafell.
Yep.
But it's said to go into like a blind rage anytime it sees a Lalafell because it's trying to eat them. And the Leopleurodon is like the closest visually to the vegetarian, which is on the canvas up above. But that's why this tank doesn't have a stool and is like roped off, is because we don't want any Lalafell to get near it and drive it into a blind rage because it might try to eat them.
I think there's a warning still in the message book. It would be the
it's like
last
on page
message.
4 or something.
Page 5 now. It says, caution, as an additional precaution following the incident, all Lalafell must remain at least 3 yalms away from the Leopleurodon tank.
Wow.
But there are 11 to 12, depending on how you count it, different species of fish that canonically are a threat to Lalafell.
And most of them are caught via ocean fishing, so if you're ever having bad luck, there's options.
Come the waters.
Yep, so we'll head to room 15, which is probably like probably the most popular room because of this big Quay, the Warden of the Seven Hues.
My rival of like 4 months.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah, this guy, up until Aquamaton was released in patch 6.2, which we'll get to in a bit, this was like the prestige aquarium fish. This one could sell for a few million gil. I think when it first came out, I was seeing it sell consistently at like 10 million gil.
Jesus.
And it's down to about 3 now in most places, about 3 million.
I guess I didn't even think about that. Is fishing lucrative in this game? Like, is it a decent way to make money?
It can be, depending on what you fish. Usually at the start of each patch, if they add like a new aether sand, it will be
Right.
usually fishing is the fastest way to get some of those. And so if you can get that and find it very quickly, which most of the fishers do because we know where to look, you can make a ton of money pretty quick. When Island Sanctuary released, they added a new type of material called aqueous glioaether that can only be caught. It can only be gotten from a fish in Thavnair. And I think most fishers made like 5 mil in the first few days just selling that.
You need it to make the otter fountain for the sanctuary.
I
So
love
every
the design
fish
of this
in-
room.
Yeah, so every room or every fish in this room is from Prism Lake in Yanxia.
Oh, okay.
There's all but 2 fish from Prism Lake that cannot be put into an aquarium, which is unprecedented for most fishing holes. They usually don't. Usually it's like 1 or 2 fish, not the entirety of the pool.
Right.
So there's 1 or 2. I think it's the yellow and white goldfish are the 2 that don't get aquariums, but at this point I wouldn't be surprised if they add them. And so this whole room is solely devoted to just 1 fishing hole.
Also, real fun fact about this room for Erica. All the prism fish here are named after Sailor Moon characters.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Haruka, I believe, is the red prisonfish in the northwest tank. That would be
Oh, okay.
here.
Huh?
Yes.
I learned about this last week. Just by
The
way.
warden is Usagi. So
That's so cool. Nice little
Yep.
touches.
but
This is so cool, yeah.
I don't remember who. It was one of the staff members is the one who came up with the idea to name them all after Sailor Moon characters. So
That makes sense considering like the theme of a lot of like Stormblood stuff.
What is on your head?
That's the Dragon Quest item. If you're talking
What?
about delicious.
Yeah, they did a crossover thing, and I figured, why not a GIMP mask?
All right.
I mean, are you surprised?
No. No.
All right, so room 16 is the rest of Yanxia,
Ooh.
which has some other like really fun fish. Like there's
That's such a nice use of the bed.
oh yeah.
it's such a nice decoration.
When
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
when we were making this, and I basically I said, all right, this is what rooms are gonna have which fish. I curated it all out, and then I basically said, all right, which room do you want, or do you want me just to give you a room? And so I would say, here's the fish in your room, here's the region, go. And so I didn't really tell anybody how to decorate their rooms outside of the base template. You'll notice that all the fish tanks are kind of in the same position.
Yeah.
That's a base template that we follow, so it's just like 16 open partitions and then the 4 tier 4 tanks. And as long as their room had a message book, an orchestrion playing music, and then the 4 fish tanks in this rough orientation, they could do whatever they want.
Okay, cool.
So I gave everyone got creative freedom, and we got them whatever they needed within the budget that we had. And so everyone just kind of went off and was super creative, and I'm really happy with how all these rooms came out.
Is it one person per room, or are there several rooms done by one person? Was that
There
even
is-
proper English? Did I say that even correct? I don't even know what I'm
No,
talking about.
I got what you were saying.
Okay.
Some rooms are one person. You can only have one character per room, but some people, like myself, and well, I guess I'm the only person on the call who did that, have like alts that they just happen to level up.
Okay.
So I technically as a person have 2 rooms, but I can only have 1 character per room.
Okay. That makes sense.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So it's 1 character per room, but it was really a group effort to get what everyone needed. And I think it would be like, hey, we need you to do this. Can someone help me get this? And like 3 people would be like, yeah, I can do that. And then they would get it. It was kind of actually scary at how quickly we were able to get some of the really rare items as well. We have a kind of our treasurer, who we lovingly called our Tataru. Will basically be like, hey, we need some money for this. And she'll just be like, I got you. And somehow manage to pull out like 1.2 billion gil to fund 27 votes for a large house.
Wow.
Which we still lost. I think the winning number was like 26, and we had votes 25 and 27.
Oh my god.
Feels bad. Man.
So, room 17.
I like our spot though.
Yeah, I think we've decided we're gonna stick here. That was really early on. That was like after the first month we decided there was like a nice large up in lavender beds that we liked that you could fish off of. So this is the Azim step room, kind of based around like the yurts that you might see the Yol.
Yeah.
Travel around in.
That's cool.
Notable fish in here would be the ones that Erica are looking at right now. These are the unconditionals. They're called unconditional despite being highly conditional in terms of catching.
Sure.
They are like spooky. They are a legendary fish though that can be caught in the little pond outside of wherever the tribe that Sadu is from.
Dockerel, I think.
Dockerel, yeah.
Yeah.
But it can only be caught during clear skies after it's rained between 5:30 and 6:30 Eorzean time.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's fine. Sure.
Rain is a rare weather, so it's up. It has like a 0.1% uptime over the past 20 days.
That's insane.
A lot of these rare fish have that.
Have crazy windows, and they'll be down for like weeks at a time in real life.
Yeah, the current record is I think 39 days of downtime.
Is that
held
Ruby?
by Bob Goblin Bass.
Oh,
I think Bob Goblin Bass has the downtime, and if Tio is watching, he'll come in and correct me again because he knows that information.
Yeah.
But
It's also called the unconditional in game because it's meant to, like, the way the colors are, they think it represents the unconditional love between Azim and Nama, which are the sun and moon gods for the Zieja.
Yeah, someone just actually dropped that in chat, the whole story.
Yeah.
a recent story that I just discovered about the Azim steppe and fish is that there are 2 crayfish, the dawn crayfish and the dusk crayfish, and they are at eternal war with each other over the Azim steppe.
I love this guy, this like dolphin-looking shark up here.
He just looks so happy, doesn't he?
He's
like, hey guys.
The grass shark.
Yep, that is a spearfish under the Dawn Throne.
But it's actually not a shark.
Yep.
He
So,
looks like
do you
he's
wanna
always
tell-
about to get some ice cream.
yeah.
You want to take a guess what species of fish it is?
It's a porpoise.
It's not a porpoise.
I don't know.
Nope.
Goldfish.
Oh, gold?
Nope.
Did you say goldfish?
I don't know. This
Oh.
is the only fish I know.
It is, it's an eel.
So if he's not a porpoise, is he an accident?
Wow.
Oh,
No.
Lord.
Wow.
Get out.
Okay, I'll see myself.
Go away.
No, it's actually a catfish.
Oh.
Okay,
It's
I can
based
kind of see
off
that with
of-
the shape of the mouth.
Yeah, so
Scoop,
it's actually
scoop,
based
scoop.
off of, again, real life fish. There is a species of catfish known as like catfish sharks. This is like the iridescent catfish shark or something to that effect. But yeah, it's an herbivore. It's the name grass shark because it only eats grass. The same kind of thing of they believe it looks like this to ward off predators. But it's one of 2 tankable catfish from the Azim steppe. The other one being the cavalry catfish, which is over here.
We have so much data about fish.
I just
Actually,
looked
has
up the
feathers, though.
iridescent shark in real life, and I was not disappointed.
No, it looks almost exactly like the grass shark.
Cool. What a happy boy. All right.
Very boopable snoot.
Yeah, totally boopable.
Room 18.
Norvrant.
So this is first off, this is Iliad Skan. She is the creator of this room. She is also named after a legendary fish from Shadowbringers that everyone hates. Sorry, Iliad Skan, because the Irish are going to correct me. But
Getting a little grumpy there, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, is this our
This is also
inorganic
our-
fish?
Yes, so this is a Quamaton, who was built by the dwarves over on the first, and its original intention was to mine resources out from like underwater, and instead they got there, they dropped it in the water, and it jetted away into the depths like an excited puppy.
So naturally, once
that
we
is
catch
quote for
it-
quote what it is.
So naturally, once we catch it, instead of returning it to the dwarves, we stick it in a tank instead for our own amusement.
Sure, that's
Yep.
fine.
The other weird thing about this is like how like you would say that that's maybe like a foot long, right? This
Yeah.
fish can get whenever you catch a fish, there is a length that you can get, and the length determines whether or not it is considered average size or large size. Large size is high quality from pre-Endwalker times.
Right, okay.
It can go up to like 6 feet.
How do they grow? What
I don't know.
happened?
I don't know. That's the one. This is like the one thing that drives me nuts. Is like it's a medium tier fish. It goes onto a medium thing, and yet it is 6 feet. And we're thinking that maybe it's 6 feet as in dwarven feet.
Sure, there you go.
That makes sense. We gotta explain why Lancet's in jail, guys.
This is
This is brand new. Literally,
This is-
yeah.
this
Kyrie
just happened?
Yeah,
Kyrie
just now,
did it
just today.
like a few hours, like an hour ago.
Oh my god.
So this is lancet fish based on an actual real life lancet fish, and it is notorious for causing what people call lancet jail. The sum of it is you need to catch 2 Moratecta to get the intuition buff that allows you to catch lancet fish.
Okay.
Moratecta is a big fish, and it is rare, and a lot of the time it's only up for like 6 minutes, and you can't actually get 2 in those 6 minutes to get it. So what you have to do is you catch 1, and then you have to stay in the Tempest, because if you leave, it resets the intuition buff progress.
Okay.
So you have to stay in the Tempest, and so you are quote unquote jailed there
I
because you're
see.
locked in.
What's the
gosh.
refresh on it?
It comes up pretty consistently. It's not super duper rare.
Okay.
It has it's like 8.3% uptime if I'm reading this right.
All right.
Like it's up in 16 minutes. But it's like it's not super rare, but it's enough that you're going to be waiting at least an hour for it to come up again. At least minimum. I have heard people who will stay in the Tempest for 3 days straight,
Good God.
just trying to catch the fish.
Oh my god.
This
you
is
can
also
do,
the fish why they added if you log out, it keeps your intuition progress, because people were really complaining about that.
This is also, you can't do like any relays or anything either, because if you like leave that area to do a dungeon or something, like even if you're doing relays, it will count you as leaving that area and reset your intuition.
Oh, yeah, screw that.
Because that was what happened with me with the warden, is I couldn't leave the
You can't
dungeon.
leave the zone, so that's why it's called like Lancet Jail or Tempest Jail.
Yeah,
or
okay.
For Warden of the Seven Hues, they call it Warden Jail.
Shit.
And so that's why it's now in jail.
Lancet
So-
is often one of the last big fish people get.
Yep.
This
And then go ahead.
the song in here, every time I hear it, I think, I mean, like a true 90s kid, I hear, can't get enough of that golden crisp. Like, I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but it's just, it reminds me of cereal every time I hear the song.
That's a first, but now that you're saying it, I totally
And
can
then
see it.
that's the correct one, right? Can't get enough of that golden crisp. Something like that. I went to the wrong.
Yeah. So we're going to bet now. We're going to 19, which is Fish of Lakeland and the Crystarium.
One of my favorite zones.
Yeah, Crystarium and Lakeland is really nice, and honestly, there's nothing super exciting in terms of fish here.
How
You'll
dare you? My
see-
favorite fish is in this room.
What?
Yeah,
There
it's the
is-
noble fish there, the purple ones.
Yep. So noble fish, sin spitters are the white ones 'cause they look like sin eaters.
Oh, yeah, okay.
People actually mistook them as sin eaters, and they were like, "Holy crap! There's now sin eater fish," and then it turns out it's just a white fish.
What a horrifying concept.
There's a head.
Moonlight
There's-
Guppy here, which is one of the few like tankable bigs.
Yeah,
It had
so-
nothing to do with moonlight, and it's tiny.
Yeah. So moonlight guppy is the smallest one in this tank
That's
here.
this. Yeah.
The little fish
Little
that looks
tiny
like
fish.
a guppy when you think of a guppy.
Sure.
It is interesting because it drove the entire fishing community mad, and it is also the longest it took. It is also the fish that holds the. Not the record. It is the second longest fish to be discovered because whenever they add new fish, all we know is where the fish is and whether or not it has weather or time conditions. So we have to go find it. It's big to do. It's called the Discovery Period. It's huge. Like hundreds of people come and play just to find the fish. And Moonlight Guppy took 20 days to find. So if you took all of the time, all the days that it took the Ultimate Raiders to get the very first clear on a new Ultimate, you still wouldn't have enough time to find this one fish, and it isn't even the longest fish to be found.
That's ridiculous.
The record
also-
for that's 45 days.
Now,
The
when you
reason
say
is that-
45 days, are you saying 45 times 24 hours of time?
45. So it's 45 days. So like if it was like November 1st is when the fish came out,
Right?
it wasn't found until like December 15th.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. All right.
It's also known as the Moonlight Guppy, the because people thought maybe the conditions were having to do with the fact that it was caught at night, and that's where it got the name. No, it's because the Crystal Exarch liked that it looked like the moon, and even though no one there had seen night in ages, he sure did name it after the moon that no one knew what that looked like.
Ironically enough, it's also not caught during the night. Yeah, it's caught during the dawn
That's absurd.
from
Messing
6 to 8
everything
a.m.
up.
Yeah, so that one threw a lot of people for the loop. Moving on to room 20. Yeah. A lot of people were like, oh, the moon phases, because S rank bosses in the overworld can be controlled by moon phases. And
Right,
so
okay.
everyone was like, yeah, totally gonna add moon phases to fish. And that wasn't the case.
This is a very foresty room.
So this room is kind of a catch-all room because
The
you can tell by
overflow.
the floor, like which area it's based off of. Like I think this is.
It's Ilmeg is purple.
Yeah,
Kalusia is beige, and then the rest is Raktika.
It's because we didn't really have enough fish to fit independent rooms for all three, so this is a catch-all room.
Neat.
So some notable fish in here would be probably the clown tetra, which are the striped fish here in the southeast corner. I swear we don't put all the notable fish in the southeast corner. I just realized that we have a lot of those. Clown tetra is a fish that you mooch into an alligator, and then you mooch that alligator into another even larger alligator, which is on the print in the background, called the Priest of Yaklakwa. And then you mooch the Priest of Yaklakwa, and mooching is basically you use the fish you just caught as bait.
When you say mooch, what do you mean? Unless you're talking about kind of, freeloading off of somebody.
It kind of is, because if you catch a moochable fish, you can use that fish as bait.
Okay.
So you
Alright.
cast it. So basically, if I catch a clown tetra, instead of hitting cast again, I hit mooch, and it will use it as bait.
All right. Nice.
But anyways, like three fish later, you can catch the greater serpent of Ronka.
Who's here over here on the chairs?
Yes, so you can catch the little scree dude.
Oh, nice.
And then for Frothy, the guy with the horn here, this is Little Bismarck.
All right. I get that.
So this is the one like aquatic Bismarck representation we have. They don't know why it has a horn because it specifically stated in game to only hunt exclusively with its teeth. But
It's just happy to have it.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
but it is named after the Bismarck on the first, because of the horn.
And it's
Okay.
caught around the Isle of Ken, which is where that Bismarck is.
Got it.
There's like fishing in this game goes, pun intended, deep. It goes. There's stuff that we are still discovering. I know a few months ago we discovered this fish in Az's Law. We thought like, oh, it could only be caught between, say, like, I forget the exact, but it was like between midnight and 4 a.m. during this weather. And we learned 3 or 4 years after the fish came out that it is actually in fact caught between a much larger window during the same weather.
Okay.
So there's a lot of new discoveries being made in fish like every day because of the nature of how it's designed.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So this is the Ilmeg room, which is kind of like the chaos room.
Yeah.
'cause
The dolls
fairies are-
periodically
It's like a Calcabrena
move
doll.
between visits, so
Oh, nice. Elf on the shelf.
Yep, they kind of just move it around.
there's also a Namazu has met an unfortunate fate in this room as well.
Yes. Is this a
So-
cake? Is that what this is? With the hearts on it?
Yeah.
All right.
Cakes,
bathtub.
bathtubs.
The bathtubs. This is pretty great.
Yeah, the owner of this room, Sophie, just was like, yeah, fairies are wild, so here we go. And just started making really wild stuff.
Yeah, this is cool. Dig the chandelier as always. Top tier chandelier game in the aquarium.
There's
This
a lot
fish-
of chandeliers.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one particularly notable fish here. It's this guy.
In the southeast corner again. Why do we keep doing this?
Yeah, the one that looks like a waffle cone.
Sure, yeah.
That's the goblin fish, if I remember correctly. Or like goblin face fish. What you see, like the pinkish color of its face, that's not like scales or anything. That's just its innards, because it's based off of a real life deep sea fish.
Oh.
That you can like see their innards because their skin's translucent.
Deep sea fish are like the weirdest creatures on the planet.
They're
They
so
are
cool.
So bizarre.
They're so
Mhm.
cool.
There's also, we mentioned the Yalitston.
Ghoulfish.
That's the print right here as well.
Where?
Right here.
Oh, the little small
Little
one.
tiny
This-
print.
Nice.
This guy, so that guy is notable because it's only up for 90 seconds.
Oh gosh.
You only have 90 seconds of opportunity to catch it every few days.
Is that why there's a clock here?
I believe so, actually.
He was actually the first big fish I caught.
Yeah. It was like my second to finish, because I mean, Cinder and Salad were my last two. And Frothy showed up with me for moral support and caught it, and I didn't. And he almost got drowned in the lake, but you know.
That happens a lot with
Yeah.
fishing. You'll find like the easiest way for somebody to catch a difficult fish is they bring a friend and then the friend will catch it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Solid. I like that,
like
like the way that they set up the tanks in this room, that the fish are going in and out of the weeds, like you disappear.
Oh yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Cool touch.
Clipping those partitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iliadskan is up in 10 hours and then it's down for 3 days. And I think it's record for that fish is like 2 weeks of downtime. Like 14 days downtime.
That's
so
nuts.
it gets
Like
pretty-
real life time, not in game.
Yeah.
Real life time to have 90 seconds to try to catch it.
Driving home from work like a maniac because you gotta like, I've got 90 seconds.
Yeah.
So this is the Fish of Thavner. This was added the night we opened because it was going crazy, and the guy or the person who was doing this was like, I totally want to get my room made. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, go ahead, we can do this. And then we made the mistake of announcing to the lobby that the room was open, and 100 people like simultaneously all just went into this room. And this is where we heard the crowd noises in a private room, which should never ever
nice.
happen. But some of these you'll have seen before, like obviously Flowerhorn here.
The guy with the clown nose or the clown
Yep.
head. I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the in-game lore is that the three sisters from Themir apparently blessed it, and that the bigger the horn is, the more good luck or good fortune it'll bring you
Okay.
if you catch it. So that's the lore there.
And then Roosterfish is the big guy here in the southeast corner. Just because I guess I have to point out all those. Basilosaurus, based on the real life Basilosaurus, behind us. My only fact and claim to fame to this is that I caught the first ever one in game.
Oh wow, cool.
The purple script dude, right?
Yes, Basilosaurus is a great source of purple gatherer scripts.
Sue also knows a little bit of like in-game lore about the Basilosaurus too, since Sue really likes dinosaurs.
So many of these dinosaur
Well,
fish.
I mean, it's kind of more like a whale in a sense that it actually needs air, so it will hang out in shallow waters.
Oh, interesting.
It is
Yeah,
caught in the shallowest part of Thavnair too, on the sea.
Yeah. It's supposedly like the evolutionary link between whales and some other stuff.
I dig it.
So next room is our touch tank, I believe. Yeah. So this was one of the first few rooms. This was a room that a lot of people came in and they were like, "Hey, do you have a touch tank?" Because every aquarium has a
Right,
touch
of
tank.
course.
And we were like, "Crap, we don't." So we knocked this out in a week. So this was released the week after we opened, and this was our first what we call non-standard room, special exhibit. And there's not really a ton of interactables that you can actually give players that kind of work the way that we wanted it to. So we had to design this room with features that looked like you could touch it and pretend you could touch it, but not actually be able to interact with it.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we have the touch tanks on the side, we have the touch tanks in the middle. You can climb up to the top. There's even a little like tank up here that you can play around in. And this has become like the second or third most popular room.
That's actually really cool. Oh,
Hands
I'm
down.
falling through the.
You broke our ladder.
Now I'm a fixture.
Yeah, you can see why it's popular given what all chaos we're doing down
Yes,
here.
it's really
is,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have people who
I
come
don't
in
think
here
I
and
have
splash.
this. I don't think I have
play
the splash
Bled.
emote.
I don't either. So
I
I'm
don't.
kind of missing out on the fun.
That's all right.
There is
but-
a running joke that people will drown in the touch tank.
Yeah.
So people would just like, because you can gimmick the play dead emote on Fisher, so you just
Oh right,
drop.
yeah. I don't know that
Yeah,
one
and just
either.
fall in.
I don't think I
Drowning.
know.
I fall in and I can't get up.
Right. You need metal alert.
So all of our rooms, all of our special exhibits have a story behind them. Like we give them a narrative reason from the game lore for them to exist. And so this one is just like the satrap of Thavnair wanted to introduce his people to the outside world after the events of Endwalker. And so you'll see a lot of fish that aren't necessarily from Thavnair in the area. And if you look at the maps, you'll see prints of these small fish.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah.
the pins where the prints go in are where those fish are caught.
That's such a nice touch. I love that.
Yeah, me and the other
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
All
other
right, that's
person,
cool.
when we were putting this together, we were like, yeah, we should put them on a map. And then I forget if it was her or I who did it and who said it, and we just both like braingasmed on that. It was like, that is so good. We're gonna do it.
That's a really cool idea.
So we use
I like
that also
the
in the
supply
next
of
room as
towels
well.
is awesome.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
touch
you gotta
tank. You
dry
have to be
off.
hygienic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta dry off.
Someone's first entry in here has killed my friend here.
Yeah.
We have that a lot.
There is, I think the most popular time that we'll see people like drowning in the touch tank is if we have Alphino or Eorzean NPC players.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
always mention like Ellison drowned, or like Vocacious Ellison drowned in the touch tank, or like we had an Obeliance NPC player once and we were like, yeah, your son kind of didn't have a fun time in the touch tank here.
We've had so many NPC roleplay characters come in.
That's
I know
awesome.
the European one, we had the entire Knights of the Round come in along with Archbishop Gordon.
That's great.
That was a bit of a nightmare because it was like, oh god.
Because the animation just took so long, or what?
It was 13 people.
No.
Who showed up?
Sua and I had the other night, we were giving a tour to a small group of people. We got finished, walked out, and an entire guild from like one of the new Dynamis servers who were entirely NPC impersonators showed up. And it was like the wildest thing. So we ended up giving them a tour too.
Their tag is also NPC. I think they're from Halicarnassus because that's where I put my alt. So this is our shark encounter. The whole idea for this is I really wanted a room that had a shark cage in it.
Yeah,
that's it. That was the whole room idea. It's built around this shark cage. And so we built a shark cage, and then we just kind of put it around the idea of it being like a shark research lab. And so it's Charlian scholars have come over to Limsa and like the Lenosha region to study the sharks. And they've set up this little research center. So they have like the shark cage where they do maintenance on it, feed our fish, and then they do a little bit of education. And so each of the sharks on the wall, the big blue wall,
right,
underneath them are things that they eat.
Oh, cool. A little food chain diagram almost.
Yeah, so Pog Shark makes an appearance again, and the Pog Shark that everybody loves is actually quite malicious in the fact that, it's a filter feeder, so it'll eat plankton and like seaweed and jellyfish and chocobo.
Yeah, all right. I was going to say
casually.
Pictures of no pictures of Lalafell below these, but
no pictures of Lalafell for them. But also you'll notice they have different colored pieces on them. So like a red, a cyan, and a yellow. Oh, yeah. If you go over to the map here on the ground, you can see where they're all located as well. So we kind of carried that over from the Thavnir room and showing cool. Like, this is how you get that.
The level of detail you guys put into this is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I also have a gift for you two.
No?
Oh, is this? Are these what I think they are?
It should be, yes.
It should be.
What happened?
We have so many.
Now you get to be a shark too.
So there's an item in game called fish pastries, and so
oh, so you can eat fish.
You can eat the fish, you can eat sharks too.
Amazing.
Join the food chain diagram.
I thought we had leftover Major General plushies.
We don't have access to the free company chest, Rudy.
No, I only got fish pastries.
I'm happy with fish pastry.
We've had so many events here that we have a ton of like just backstock of things to give away, and I went to the wrong room again.
What a mood. The amount of times I've like been giving a tour and then walked out to the lobby instead of the next room is too many.
I just remembered I have a Major General plush on me.
All right, so the last room is our newest room. This is the we're calling it the Fish of Endwalker. This is another catch-all room because we don't have enough fish to make a Garlemald and Elpis room.
Oh, okay.
Yet, because there's only one Garlemald fish and there's only one Elpis fish. Kind of makes sense because Garlemald only has 2 fishing holes and Elpis only has 3. And I keep botching Garlemald, so I apologize for that. But in this, you'll see a lot of fish. You'll see the skate, the Aether Electric Guitar fish again.
There he is.
The little puffer friends, those are dog-faced puffers.
They're adorable.
Yep. They were just added. And then one of my personal favorites is the Dark Crown, which is these black and like white betas.
Yeah, like beta fish.
Absolutely love these. The Garlean nobles would actually give these as gifts to new emperors as a way to gain favor.
Ooh. Ooh, the opening bookshelf is a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. So we have a bunch of these. Bunch of these tanks are just kind of all a lot of overlap, but eventually this room is going to probably become like the old Charlian Labyrinthos room.
Okay.
And that's why it's decorated around Charlian. So we have like as minimal work. as needed to fix it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, and I think that's it. That's the whole aquarium. You have that's all our 25 rooms. We have one room that has been bought and hasn't been made yet. The creator that actually had to go on vacation or a trip for about like a month, but should be getting to that soon, and that'll be another Ruby Sea room. I think it's Ruby Sea room number 3 or 4, because the Ruby Sea just keeps adding so many fish. And then we have 2 more exhibits that we are currently planning on making that are currently in development. One will be launching probably around January 1st, and then the other one will be coming later.
Now,
They just announced that new thing for spearfishing that's coming, right? So there should be new fish then.
Yeah, in the Bronze Lake in Lenosha.
Yeah.
That'll be the first location in ARR that there is spearfishing.
Mm-hmm.
and you have like, there's no fish you're missing, right? You guys get everything as soon as it's released.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so we will, if we're missing a fish, it's like maybe one Ruby Sea fish, and that's just because it hasn't been displayed yet, but I'm pretty certain we have full coverage on everything now.
That's awesome.
And so that's like 180 some odd species of fish, all in a single house. And we did it twice. We did it on Europe as well. So we maintain 2 of these venues.
How many people, like, in total are involved in either fishers or, I mean, you've got at least 25 because you have 1 character per room, but like, how many people are involved overall?
For the initial launch is about 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've grown up to about 30 on NA. Yeah, about 40. About 45 on NA.
That's cool.
And then Europe has about 25 people.
Man.
Oceania, I think between all of our projects, we have about 80 people who volunteer for different things. Either it's the aquarium on Crystal or Spriggan or on Sophia, or one of the other mega projects that we're working on for museums.
Damn. I tell you what, though, like, all in all, that amount of people is not a lot for the amount of detail and stuff in here. You guys did a tremendous job.
I think a lot of time I think it's just a lot of passion, especially with these aquariums. The fishing community is super passionate and mildly terrifying.
I guess I get
when
that.
it comes to getting stuff done, and like, it's the fishing community is extremely community oriented. And so when I first made this joke, this whole aquarium started off as an offhand joke. Truthfully,
as many ideas in life do.
Yeah, I said it on like April 4th or something, and I was like, an enterprising FC could get around the fish tank limit by using FC rooms. And before I could even finish saying that, there was like 10 people going, all right, cool, I got an alt, where are we putting it?
Yeah, that's cool.
I've seen the infamous screenshot that started it all.
Yeah, it took 28 days to put this together for the launch. I think we started May 4th, had the house that night, had all the fish the following week, and then all the rooms were done like April 30th. And we ended up launching May 1st, which is 2 weeks ahead of when we were originally planning.
Man, that's so cool. That's just like, that's the real key to 14 is it is so community oriented all over the place. Like, you can play it solo, but the stuff you can do as a group of people is phenomenal. Like, it's really cool. Really cool.
And it's really blossomed. A lot of people are now looking at making more museum venues like this. So we're seeing a lot more people come in and be like, hey, I want to make a museum about textiles or art or the calamities.
And you could go like historical. That's super cool.
Yeah, and so we have people who actually work in museums in real life are working with us. So it's like, that's the detail that we're getting into this now. We joked at one point about applying for membership for the official International Council of Museums, because technically at the time we qualified.
I mean, why not?
Because they didn't specify Earth, which the Aquarium Association did.
I see.
So it was a bit weird. But at one point, like we were looking at that, and one of the guys who works in museums in real life is like, yeah, you totally could probably make a case for that. So it in just 6 months, it really has been 6, almost 7 months now that this has become such a huge thing.
That is so cool.
This is like one of the most, I think, well-known venues in the game.
I haven't found any other venue that has more likes than us in the message book. So if you look in the message book, you can leave a like.
I saw the little like next to the messages.
Yeah, so we have, the lobby book has 34,000 to begin with, and I think a week or two ago, across all 25 rooms plus the lobby, we broke 100,000 in 6 months, which is unprecedented for me. I don't know if any other venue has ever been able to achieve that. We kind of moved up. The staff called it Kool-Aid Manning into the scene.
Yeah.
Kind of just broke through the wall.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's funny because Sue and I came and visited like a week after it opened, and I didn't realize that we had visited like that soon after it opened until like months later, because by the time we found it, it was like super popular. So I was like, wow, this has probably been well established. No, it was literally a week after it opened.
Wow.
Yeah, we were an instant hit, and there was no way we're going to be able to recreate that night. I know that like, I mean, you guys have come. People who work at Square Enix has told us like, oh yeah, we know about the Aquarium.
Oh, that's great.
We've had all these other streamers come through. We've done partnerships with other streamers for our events. Like, and this has all been in 6 months. It's boggles my mind at how crazy it's been.
Man, that's so great. Well, you guys did a fantastic job. All your notoriety is very well earned.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the tour. Do you guys want to do a G pose before we go? Is that
sure? You want to do that downstairs in the basement? That seems to be in front of the tanks. That's usually where everyone does it.
Let's do it. I'm not good at G pose.
Downstairs in the basement's a popular spot because it's got the cool tank set up.
We have plenty of people who can G pose.
Hooray!
Bruni, except you. You can't.
I'm not allowed to. Yes, I know.
What? Why?
Bruni's computer just can't handle it.
I was gonna say, my computer, it's gonna be like the crunchiest resolution you've ever seen in your life.
I can take it. I'll take the shot.
Are we all wearing Santa hats? Is that like a?
I can't wear hats.
Your friend on the couch upstairs gave us a
very nice person in the lobby just handed them out. So
Yeah.
Bruni, could you move maybe in between Catter and Erica?
Sure.
So that you're not in Joe's like elbow.
Elbow, yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, a little bit, a little closer, a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, tall people in the back.
First time in my life I've been told that.
Oops, I'm like inside of you there.
What a crew! Look at this crew.
We also, most of us are kind of wearing the same uniform. The blue shirt with the pants and the half-pin shoes is like the typical uniform.
I love it. It's like your little curator uniform.
And we have the FC logo on it as well for those who are actually in the FC right now. So Bruni and Sue are on their mains, but Iliad and I and Proto are all in the FC. So we have the little icon.
That's so cool.
That's just the more of those detail things that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we learned it here in the lobby for 3 days, and then on the third day, Fruity was like, "Here, do you want a uniform?" We were just like, "Sure."
I mean, they were here and they were guiding people, and I was like, "All right, well, might as well put you to work."
I don't know, man. I don't know how to put my Santa out without having my inappropriate Santa Claus costume, like the entire thing.
Oh, go for it. Get the entire thing.
Where is it?
Commit to the bit.
There we go. Excellent.
Oh my god.
There it is.
Now as he was upskirting me. Okay, it left. The little one. That's like your usual gear, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I run around in all the time.
It's good for dexterity and flexibility.
Yeah, it really, you know,
Wind
Yeah.
resistant,
aerodynamic.
Mobility.
Yeah.
As a dragoon, aerodynamics is very important. I'm sure.
Agree,
yeah.
100%.
That's true. Yeah.
You gotta bounce yourself off the back of that arena quicker.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't actually hate dragoons. I just like making fun of them.
They're easy to make fun of.
Look, as a red mage, I understand the solidarity of backflipping off stages.
Is someone G-posing this, or is it?
I've gotten a bunch of shots. I'll
Just-
send them
okay,
to you
cool.
on Twitter or
Sweet.
Discord at some point.
Well, guys, this was awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to take us through the tour.
We
coming.
appreciate you. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you both.
I'm excited to see where you
thanks for
guys
having me.
go from here.
We have a 2-day fish festival in February.
Of course you do.
Yeah,
That makes perfect
It
sense. Yeah.
just got announced.
yeah.
as well.
We've been working on it for a few months now, and then we announced it last week.
That sounds awesome.
So like we have a ton of stuff going, and it's all community oriented. I think we have plans out through May. So
That's great. Well, good luck to you guys. I can't wait to see what you do next.
I thank you.
All right.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to jump off. I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was a ton of fun, wasn't it? It is incredible, like, what the Final Fantasy XIV community produces. And I'm consistently impressed with the quality of people that play this game. I really, really, really am. I mean, like, you know, I've been a gamer my whole life. You're never shocked at toxicity, right? But I am always shocked with just how f***ing cool the people of 14 can be. It's like its own ecosystem in so many different ways. It took what an MMO RPG could be and completely changed it. It's just been super, super cool to see what this community can do. Yeah. Many thanks to Fruity and everybody for leading this around. This was fantastic. I'm gonna take off. No stream at the normal time tomorrow because we're all gonna get together at 2 o'clock Pacific time on YouTube. I'll be in the YouTube chat, and I'm gonna jump on voice Discord for my private Discord for my subscribers, and we're gonna premiere the Claude stunt video. I cannot wait for you guys to see this. We worked super hard on it, and it's gonna be great. But that's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging around. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.